Hi everyone, this is Ms. Upworkwala and welcome back to another podcast. And today we have a special guest with us who is Jenn Stoudt. And today we'll be knowing about her journey and the lessons she learned throughout the challenges she faced. So, hi Jen, how are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm also good. So first of all, I want to thank you that you came in my show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to encourage the next generation of entrepreneurs around the world, as well as include my youngest daughter with me. So sorry for her background sounds. she's she's a little bit past her bedtime,
Oh,
but
okay,
didn't want to go to bed. So she's joining me now.
that's amazing. You should ask her to do interviews just like me. Okay. So first of all, I want you to introduce yourself to my audience who is watching.
Sure. My name is Jennifer Stout, and I am the owner of Interwoven Therapeutic. I am a medical massage therapist. So I specialize in injury treatment, pain relief, chronic issues, getting your functional abilities better with your pain decreasing. That's kind of my best. So it's a journey of what motherhood does to the body, which is a lot. I am also an author. I have written a children's book called The Song of My Heartbeat, which is all about the fetal development between mom and baby and how the bond starts in utero from the not necessarily the baby's first heartbeat from the time that the baby can feel and hear the mom's heartbeat from the inside, which is a very unique thing that only their children ever get to feel. So that's kind of the premise of the book. And then I'm a mom of five. I'm a stepmom to one. I'm also a Guinness World Record holder. That just happened. So my brother and I are both participants in this great, awesome thing that we got to do. So there's a lot that I have going on in my world right now. All of the opportunities that have come my way and hope that I make the most of them.
Okay, so in which record did you beat record?
So the official title of our Guinness World Record is the most number of authors coming together simultaneously signing a book. So we were all co-authors on a book where we all contributed at least a piece to the book. And then we got to come together and all sign the copy for the Guinness World Record people. That was in Philadelphia last weekend. So that's a new thing to add to the resume.
Okay, so then they reached out to you, or you just made a video that we have broke this Guinness World Record, or they were there to record it.
They were there because there was a man who was orchestrating it. He was working with them for months before that he got connected with the Guinness World Record people, and they came out. I don't know where they flew from, but they had several official Guinness World Record people who were there, and on my Facebook page, Interwoven Therapeutic, I've got pictures of it posted, and it was a really really wonderful event. Yeah. I highly recommend breaking a world record at some point. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really want to break few world records, like 5 to 10 world records. But can you tell me the process, like how can I beat it?
How can you say that one more time?
Yeah, I want like to tell me a process, like how can I beat a world record? Like if I wanted to beat any of the world record, how can I contact them and you know, how can I break it?
Yeah. Well, because I wasn't the one directly contacting the Guinness World Record people, I don't have a lot of those answers. But I do know that you can go to the Guinness World Record website. And if you know what record you want to beat, you can send them an email. And eventually you'll get to a real person that says, oh, you actually want to do this thing and you're willing to go through the steps. I don't know what all the hoops are. I wasn't a part of the organization for the event, thankfully. That's not a hat I want to wear. But But yeah, there's a lot of really good information on the Guinness World Record website, and reach out to other Guinness World Record holders and ask them what their journey is as well. Because I didn't organize my event, I don't have a lot of those answers, but I know the person to ask. So I could get back to you on that, especially if you know what record you want to beat. I would say that's the first place to start, is know what you want to do as your goal to be able to work towards that step. Everything is one step at a time. Your goals are never a whole goal. It's just one step at a time to get to that goal. It's just considering it all, what I refer to as green lights. Continue going through those green lights. And when you reach a stop or a red light, you'll know it. And then you can stop, figure out how you need to reassess, and then go through green lights. But if all you do is just stop at a stop sign or stop at a red light and just, oh, I'm never going to write this book, I'm never going to start this business, I'm never going to take that next step, then you're going to be stuck at that red light the whole rest of your life. And no one wants to live like that. So I just encourage people to take a little step at a time, even if it's reading a book, taking a class, setting the goal, processing the thought process of what your goal is. So I hope that helps.
That's really great, and I think that it feels really amazing. So, by the way, how did it feel when you officially became a Guinness World Record holder?
It was pretty fantastic. My brother is the one who had invited me to participate with him. He says, "Come write a book with me." And so twist my arm. And so I was an opportunity to see my brother primarily, but it was this wonderful opportunity. And the Guinness World Record guy was on stage, and then all of a sudden he's reading, "This is the thing you were trying to break. This is what the previous record was, and you've accomplished it." And this entire room of 142 authors just erupt in immediate celebration. He didn't mean for a party to start right then, but it did. It was just the excitement of the room was so palpable that everyone was excited to be there, and everyone had a wonderful story, and everyone was excited about everyone else's story. So it was wonderful to be a part of such a collaborative event where people aren't just wanting to take from you. So much of the world is being a go-getter and get, take. And instead, I want to be a go-giver. That's one of my favorite books. I can't think of who the author is, unfortunately, but the book is called The Go-Giver. And it's business principles of giving, and how eventually that seems to find its way back to you. But the intention isn't to be getting, it's what do I have that other people need? And that was just very palpable in the room. So we were all very happy, not only for ourselves, but for each other. And I've had many conversations with people I met there last weekend since then. And hopefully that will continue to do whatever that next green light is supposed to do in my life. So I don't know what that next step is going to be per se, but there will be a lot more speaking and teaching things that I step into as a result of having made some of these connections. So it's wonderful.
Okay, so do you plan to attempt another world record in the future?
I don't really know what all my plans are in that specific regard. I'm leaving a lot of that up to God's discretion and things that He just kind of not only puts in my life, but also things that He just kind of speaks to me directly. He is my biggest source of direction. Is okay, if God says jump, I jump, and if He says stop, I stop. And so I really kind of listen for His direction of whether I'm supposed to go or stop, but assume that there should be forward momentum in some direction. I do have a lot of teaching education that I plan on doing in the very near future with as a massage instructor, teaching other massage therapists continuing education, things like ethics, boundaries, communication, body mechanics, how to elongate their career so that they aren't, ending up injured after 2 to 5 years, which in America is the average career length for a massage therapist. Well, I've been doing it 16 years, and I want other people to have the same benefit of the knowledge I received in school as well.
That's really great. Okay, so I was asking what inspired you to become a massage therapist?
Well, my mother was a school bus driver for her entire career as an adult, driving just the pedals were really hard on her feet. And she'd come home from work and I was in, junior high and high school, and she'd ask me to rub her feet. She'd ask me to pop her toes. And she had significant pain in her toes and difficulty from her chiropractor to be able to alleviate that and to be able to actually pop those toes. But I would relax the foot. And I didn't have a scope of practice then, so I could pop the toes and I could get her toes to pop, and it gave her so much relief that she encouraged me, "You're really good at this. You have a talent for this. You could really do something with this if you wanted to. This could be something really helpful for people the way that you've helped me." So that's planted the seed. And then I liked that I didn't have to work 40 hours a week. In America, that's a very common work week. And I didn't want to do that and be a mom. I wanted to have the flexibility to work 2 to 3 days a week with a limited schedule, pick my own hours for the most part, and have flexibility of what types of clients and things I wanted to do and see. And I have been so grateful for that. When I met my husband and we talked about family planning and things like that, I started massage school right away, just knowing this is a trajectory I know I can do well at. And it has become very much my passion. And I love working with people. I love the fact that I get to have one-on-one relationship with people for an hour or an hour and a half, where my focus is allowing their nervous system to reset. I want to calm their nervous system so that I can affect their body. If I'm working too hard against their body, then their nervous system is going to work against me, and nothing that I do is actually effective. So for the long term, I mean, you might notice some benefit because your muscles are getting worked and your soft tissue is getting worked. You will increase some, lymphatic motion and circulatory function. But I want to get to the root of what's causing people hurt and dysfunction and pain and functional limitations in their bodies, and help those places feel better instead of just the surface, the stuff that feels louder because it's right in your face. But I want to get to the deeper stuff. So that's been my field of study, and I've really honed in on that in the last 3 years with something called John F. Barnes myofascial release. I've always done a form of what's referred to as myofascial release, but a very deep tissue version of it. And now is kind of like a 180 where I have to constantly tell myself, "You're working too hard. Lighten up your pressure." Don't force it. Get out of your own head. These are all things that John would say regularly in his seminars to help the practitioners learn that we want to do too much. The body is so smart. We just have to be still with it long enough to let the body do what it needs to do. It's pretty intelligent.
That's really great. You are doing many works at one time. Like you are an author, you do public speaking, and you know about education, and you also do massage therapy work. So that's really great, the work, the amount of work you do. So I want to ask, how do you manage your time?
Well, it's helpful that I only work massage 3 days a week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, those are my work days. Those are my at the office, away from my home, away from my kids' days. When I'm at home, I try to have a balance of a few hours of cleaning with the kids, especially since I have 4 boys. I want to train them up so that they're not slobs as men. I want them to be able to clean up after themselves and cook a meal. Because, there will be a season before they're married where they're out on their own, and I don't want them living on ramen and in a pigsty. But also, to be a good husband, hopefully in the future as well, so that they're capable of a few hours of cleaning and work like that, a few hours of playtime with the kids. We do have a pool at our house, and so we just got that.
I'm really
Yeah,
sorry.
so touching, that's okay. Yeah, no worries. But the importance of being able to touch dirt and get your hands dirty and teaching your kids that it's okay to be dirty for the right reasons. Like, I don't want you to bring slime inside my house. Let's leave those things outside, but let's have that sensory input. Let's touch things. What does a plant feel like? What does a rock feel like? Exploring around us, and not staying in our little concrete building like so many Americans unfortunately do. It's really, really common that you can live an entire day and not touch anything that's actually natural. It's all concrete, it's synthetic things. And so I want my kids to have a balance of those things. So I do try to have an intentional balance. I'm not perfect at it by any means. And I've actually been working on some more of those organizational things because I can feel as some of the work things have picked up, some of the home things have slipped a little bit. And so trying to recalibrate in real time, I think is an important tool. You can't expect what worked for you at 20 to work for you at 40. And I'm almost 40 now. So I'm having to adjust some of those things to make sure that I am taking care of my family first and letting that be my priority. And then whatever time I have left and energy to focus on other things is secondary to my primary task, which is my kids and my husband.
Amazing. So now, lastly, any message or advice you want to share with my audience?
Any advice? Well, I have several good little snippets of wisdom that my dad imparted to me. But one of them is I goes to the doctor and he says, Doctor, I broke my arm in 3 places. What should I do? And the doctor turns to him and says, well, stay out of them places. So recognizing when you're in it. So being able to recognize when you're in those places or you're near one of those places and how to avoid it altogether to just remove that potential consequence from happening in your life. And then one of my favorite things that I actually say, this is my quote, is unsaid expectations are a recipe for unmet expectations. So if you can't say it, I can't do it. You have to be able to say what it is you want from someone if you want them to actually meet that expectation. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for bitterness and you're forcing them into a position of failure because they can never achieve what they don't know to reach for. So those are probably a couple of my favorite. And then don't take advice from people you don't want your life to look like. When you see that someone is a bad example, don't take their advice. You can, okay, thank you. And just decide that we can recycle that. And then you can say, hey, there's this person that I do want my life to look like. I'm going to naturally gravitate towards them. I'm going to ask them questions. How did you become successful? How did you find this work-life balance? How did you, whatever the fill in the blank is? So those are probably my 3 favorite things to tell people.
It's really great. So I'm really sorry about the net issues being happening in the middle of interview. It doesn't happen, but I really don't know what happened today. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing your journey with me and my audience. I'm really grateful to have you. So thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing me with your audience.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.